A group of friends are exploring the abandoned mansion. As they enter, they notice a faint smell of fire burning and sheet-covered furniture litters the dusty floor. They make their way through the mansion and hear the sound of footsteps on creaky stairs. Just then, the doors to the room slam shut. They try not to panic as they hear footsteps approaching from behind. The footsteps get louder and louder until the room is filled with a terrible howl that penetrates every fiber of your being. The friends freeze in terror as they see a man wearing a long white coat with red lining step forward from behind the door. The man smiles at them and says, "Do not be afraid, I come in peace." Oh, he's an alien.
Tess does not trust the man. The friends don't trust him, but they're too scared to speak. The man smiles again and backs away from them. He heads towards one of them and grabs them by the hand. As soon as his hand touches theirs, they feel better. The man leads them to the mansion until they find themselves in front of a beautiful woman lying on a bearskin rug, her long black hair fanned out around her head like a raven's wings.
Cass checks the man for alien-like features. He seems completely human, but Cass still feels uneasy. The man sits down next to the woman and whispers something in her ear. She smiles and sits up, opens her mouth very wide and begins to laugh. Ha ha ha! The man stands up and begins to clap along with her laughter, like ha ha ha! The woman stands up, opens the door and says, "Dance!" The friends stare at each other in shock as they see dozens of little men emerge from the walls and ceilings and begin to dance around them. Is this Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or is this a horror story? I'm confused. Oh, you're Exabear this time.
Cass's eyes widen as he runs over to the dancing men and tries to touch them. One of them grabs his arm and pulls it back.
Don't touch them, Steven!
No, that's you.
No, I think Cass's eye widen as they watch you run over to the dancing men and try to touch them. Tess jumps up and down and makes silly faces at the dancing men. Cass watches. I love that Cass is just judging us. Cass watches her, but doesn't say anything.
She sees a small door off to the side and runs over to it, but it's locked, of course. She turns around and sees the little men dancing around her sister. I guess that's you, Tess. You're my sister in this one.
Yeah, I guess so.
Laughing at her enthusiasm.
Exabear touches the dancing men and they all stop moving. Cass stares at them in disbelief.
What did you do?
She asks. Nothing. Exabear replies.
Steven, this was all happy dancing, and now the horror begins because you couldn't keep your hands away from small men.
Tess gets angry at Exabear and pushes him aside, stepping towards Cass. The little men quickly surround her and begin to dance again, laughing at her anger. The man walks over to Cass and touches her shoulder, making her jump slightly. Of course. He smiles at her and says, "It's okay, Cass, don't worry." Cass nods slowly and follows him as he leads her through the mansion.
So I'm alone now with the man.
Yeah.
Cass follows the man into a large room filled with furniture. They both look around and notice there were several doors leading off this room. Cass notices a door near the far end of the room, which is labeled exit.
Cass looks for weapons to defend herself with. Cass looks around and sees a few guns on shelves behind some bookshelves.
If only every horror story was like that.
She picks one up and examines it briefly before putting it away. She then takes out her phone and calls the number listed on the gun. Wait,
you gotta make sure the gun's safe, you know? You gotta make sure it's an official legal gun.
Is it like the caregiver of that specific gun or something?
Yeah. Tess dances happily among the little men and watches her sister struggle against the man who leads her by the hand. The man smiles at Cass.
Oh no, that's me.
The man smiles at Cass as he takes out his phone and makes a few calls. Cass notices a large painting hanging on one wall and walks over to it. The painting shows a young woman lying on a bed covered in blood. Cass looks down at the woman and sees that her eyes are blank and lifeless.
Cass walks over to the painting and asks the man behind her if he knows who the woman is. He leans in forward and looks at the painting for a few seconds before replying, "That's Mary.
That's fucked up."
Cass looks a bit nervously before turning away, walking towards the door. I'm assuming I'm trying to leave while Tess is still in there somewhere. Who cares? It's just Tess.
Tess makes funny faces at little men while dancing among them, trying to make them laugh as she makes faces at them. She points at one of them and makes a pouty face, sticking out her tongue. The little men laugh quietly at her antics. The man leads Cass away towards another door as he tells his friends to leave Tess alone. He's like, "Tess is fucking pathetic. Don't give a shit about her, please." They follow him as he leads them outside.
Exabear walks through the door labeled exit and finds himself in a large hallway outside the room he was in. He walks along, finding himself at about what to do next. Suddenly, he hears something calling his name. He turns to see Cass walking towards him. She looks nervous and scared. She looks down at him and asks, "What are we going to do?" Xavier feels nervous as well, knowing that he doesn't want to fight Cass.
Wait,
Oh, this
is the man gonna make you fight?
Cass asks Xavier, "Are you okay? You look pale." Oh, Cass looks worried as she says that. She touches his arm gently, but he flinches back from her touch. Cass looks hurt by his reaction and steps away from him nervously. She says nothing else, instead walking off ahead of him down the hallway. Oh my god, Tess, stop partying with the dudes! This is a horror story!
Tess does a backflip and fails spectacularly, landing on her face with a loud thud. The little men laugh at her antics as she gets up and tries again. This time she lands on her feet, but fails to keep her balance and falls again. This time she ends up sitting on the ground with a broken ankle. The little men laugh at her once again as she cries out in pain.
Oh my god! Like, and the next thing you're gonna say is like, Tess asks for help for the little men. They're like, the little men begin eating Tess as her body gets like something like that.
It's definitely gonna be the type of horror story where one person's like oblivious and it like kills them in a really horrible way.
Yeah, and no one else knows whatever happened to them.
Xavier walks down the hallway, looking around and seeing no one following him. He sees a door leading into a small room where there is an old man sitting in a chair reading a book.
Cass stares at Xavier, waiting for him to interact with the old man. He seems confused by this, but walks towards him. He reaches the old man just as he looks up from his book. He stares at the old man blankly as he waits for something to happen.
Xavier stands still, staring at the old man. He then slowly smiles and speaks softly to him. "I'm sorry if I frightened you."
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, the old man seems very nice. The old man's like creepy, but he seems like he's ultimately a nice guy, whereas the little men are like nice, but they're also terrifying.
Kaz yells, "Who are you, old man?" Xavier stands shocked as Kaz yells at him. The old man looks scared by Kaz's behavior as he starts to back away from them both. He reaches the door behind him and starts to open it. Kaz runs after him and grabs his arm. Kaz yells, "Answer me!" Xavier watches as Kaz grabs the old man's arm and starts screaming at him. The old man starts crying. He says, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." He tries to open the door behind him, but Kaz won't let go.
Oh my god. Cass is the villain.
I told you it was a horror story. I never told you who the villain was. This is just a very nice house. This has nothing to do with the horror story. I'm the horror.
Tess walks over to the woman on the bearskin rug and asks her for help. She ignores her though and just continues drinking from a bottle of wine. Cass lets go of the old man and walks away from him. He stares at her angrily as she walks back over to him.
I don't understand why you're being like this.
He says angrily to her. She ignores him and walks past him, sitting down on a nearby bench.
Oh, there must be a bench in the room. Are we outside? We might be outside. We did go through the entire hall and open the door at the end. Should we assume that we're outside?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, Steven, I think it's your move. I've been abusing this old man.
Which I don't really understand. Like, it's very rude.
Xavier walks past Cass and stares around the room again. He walks over to the door and tries to open it. He finds that it's locked and walks back over to the Cass. He looks at her angrily before walking over to the woman on bearskin rug. He sits down next to her and stares at her blankly. She ignores him and continues drinking from her bottle. He stands up again and walks over to Cass.
Steven just kind of walks back and forth.
Tess is like there, ah! Oh, Steven walks in there, looks at the woman, leaves. Tess is still there like, oh my god, my ankle! All surrounded by those small little men. Cass kicks the old man. You need to tell me what is going on right now. Cass kicks the old man in the head as he sits there blankly staring at her. He falls off the bearskin rug. Wait, the old man is her? God damn it, I think it might be too fucked. There are too many characters.
Yeah.
He stares at her angrily from the floor. She stares down at him blankly as he starts to stand up. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to continue this one. It might have gone too far.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, very good.
Cass turns around and whispers
into
Xavier's ear, and she begins to walk towards him.
As she begins...
She stops when she sees the old man standing in front of her. Everyone dies.
Okay, well, I guess that's a fitting end.
I was the one that everyone dies.
Okay, I thought that was a part of Steven.
Yeah,
I also thought it was part of mine.
Alright. Do we want to do another one?
Yeah. Hell yeah.